Hi. You know, when you're RVing alone, everything's on you. You don't get any help unless you ask for it. And it's nice to have some things around that help you do what you need to do for you as a single person. So I'm going to tell you my 10 must-have items as an RVer. And if I leave anything out, comment below. See if my list matches your list. Okay, let's start. The first thing that I cannot live without is a wagon. Now the wagon I have is a red foldable one. I'll link one up here so you can see it. I use it for everything. If I have a big bunch of laundry to do, I throw it in the wagon and I drag it off to the laundromat, and I'm not lugging something over my shoulder from one end of the campground to the other, because invariably when I need to do laundry, I'm at the farthest point away from the laundromat. It's always that way. So the wagon helps me do that. It also helps me if I'm bringing something in from my tow vehicle to the house, groceries and things like that, and it helps me drag them around where I need them. And it's just a thing, like if you're in Quartzsite and you're going on a shopping day and you're going to go get groceries and they're in a tent a half a mile away from where you're parked, you take your little wagon with you and you can shop and you can get your groceries and you can get tools, and you can get almost anything you want at Quartzsite. You can get anything you want. Anyway, so a wagon, number one. Number two, an air fryer. Now, I didn't used to use an air fryer, but I have been on a health kick. My blood pressure and my cholesterol were up, so I decided that I needed an air fryer, and now I can't live without it. I love the way it cooks. I love that there's not big greasy gunks of stuff hanging off of my food. And I found a real small 1-quart air fryer, and it's just enough for me, and it works perfectly. Now, it works great if you have solar. You're able to plug in. It's not going to work if you aren't hooked to electricity. And quite a few of these things on my list are when you are hooked in. So that doesn't count for those days when you're boondocking. I just cook ahead and keep it in the fridge, and then I can make myself a salmon steak sandwich on the days that I'm not cooking. So, air fryer. Let's see. Oh, these 100%, I'm going to show you because I have some here. These are 100% blackout curtains. Now, the great thing about these are Lucmo, and they cut to any size. They fit any window. They're 100% blackout. They are, I'm trying to show you, back up here. Black on one side and silver on the other. They feel like a plastic, some sort of plastic material, but they are 100% blackout. They keep the heat out. And what you do is you cut them to fit your window, and then you have these little Velcro buttons that you put one on your window and one on your shade, and it gives you all kinds of things with it. It gives you a strip of Velcro if you want to put them on that way. It gives you a measuring tape so you can be sure that you're cutting out the right size. And I think these are amazing. I really am not a big fan of curtains hanging, but I even if I do, the curtains that I like are not going to do a blackout. At night, when I don't want any light shining out of my vehicle to tell someone I'm home or that there's somebody in there, I want that completely dark. And so these will fit on all the windows. You know that window that you have over the sink? There's usually a window over the sink. You'd never want a curtain there because it gets full of grease or wet or goo or something. And these work great. If they get dirty, you just wipe them right off. And they're not very expensive. I'll put a link down below. I think it was probably around $30 to do all my windows. Perfect. So that is number 3. Number 4 is a mini blender. I did a video on the mini blender before, but my mini blender, it makes just 1 cup, or it's basically about this much. It's a little bit more than a cup. It's like a tall glass full of smoothies, blended coffees, soups. If I want to make some fresh vegetable soups, it'll blend everything up for me, and then I can just heat it. I love my mini blender. I wouldn't be without it. And that's my number 4. Number 5 is a luxury. I spend a lot of time following the sun, and I drink a lot of water and a lot of liquids, tea and coffee and soda and wine. I just use a lot of liquid, and I love mine icy cold. So my number 5 is an ice maker. And it's a little bigger than I want it to be. I couldn't find a little itty bitty tiny one, but it's well worth the space it takes up for me to have constant ice. You know, those refrigerators, then their ice boxes are so small that you use up a tray of ice and then you have to wait for it to freeze up again. And with an ice maker, you plug it in, you've got ice in a little while, and enough for friends to come over, and everybody gets more than just 1 cube of ice. So the ice maker is one of my must-haves. Now, when I am in an RV park, I am all about using their electricity. I've already paid for my spot. The electricity comes with it. And so why am I going to use my propane heat, my propane refrigerator, my propane anything when I can use electricity and it's their power? I'll save my propane for when I'm boondocking. So, electric heater. If it's cold, I have a little electric heater. It heats up the place like that, and it's on their dime. The other thing is an electric blanket. I have just a throw. I don't have a full-size electric blanket, but when you're in those really cold nights, a nice, comfy little electric blanket feels really good. So, I always have a little electric throw. I also have a sign. This is one of my favorite things that I did. I made a sign. I wish I'd brought it here to show you, but it's out in the RV right now. It's a sign that says that I leave in my camping spot when I'm going to go somewhere and come back, so that nobody else will come in and park in my spot while I'm gone. I don't want to leave a lawn chair. People are going to pick it up. You know people. I don't want to leave anything expensive. I just made this sign, and the sign fits on those when the people are politicking and they have these little signs that stick in the yard. They're just a wireframe sign. I just put it on that, and what it says is, "We'll be right back." Nobody has to know that it's "I'll be right back." Sounds like there's more than one of us. That's a good safety measure. And nobody will be in your spot when you come back. It's bright orange with black lettering. And I also have a space below that's chalkboard. And what I do with that is I write the date of when I'll be in that site, so that the campground hosts also, or I attach the campground host will usually give you a receipt that has the date on it that you're supposed to be there and you're supposed to leave. And that really helps them out if you display that. So I sometimes put it on that if they don't have another spot they want me to be. So that's the 8th. Then number 9th is really simple and really inexpensive, but if you don't have it, you'll want it. And that is a disposable gas lighter. You know, they're big and they're long and you click, click, click them to start, but you can use it for campfires if your electric starter on your burners go out on your stove, that you can just turn the gas on and click that thing and you've got a light. So I use mine all the time. I always keep a spare. They're pretty inexpensive. They're disposable. They're a couple bucks, disposable, and they don't last a super long time. So if it goes out and I need it, I always have a spare. So the last thing that I can't live without as a single person on the road is the Escapees RV Club magazine. And I will tell you right now, I have an entire video on this magazine. I'll link it. You can go see all about it. But if you're not an Escapees Club member, what's wrong with you? Get over there. It's $49 a year and you get so many things. I love having the magazine because I love being able to go outside, sit in the chair, unhook from all my electronics and just read. And I like reading about the places that people go and the beautiful photos and everything that are in the magazines that they send you. So I don't go anywhere without my Escapees magazine to read. And that's my list of 10 things. Again, if I've missed anything or you have a great tip on the 10 things that you could not live without if you were in an RV as a single woman traveling, just let me know in the comments and I'd be glad to hear it. So that's a real short video, but I think it was fun. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.